Believe it or not, Smart, the brand behind the Smart ForTwo, Smart ForFour, Smart Roadster and Smart Crossblade, among others, has been around now for a quarter century. And in that time, its range of tiny, fun cars have revitalised the mini car market in some countries, challenged norms about what a car could or should be in others, and given customers around the world an alternative to a large, heavy gas guzzler for their daily commute. Originally designed by Swatch back in the 1980s, the smart car was always intended to be a hybrid vehicle, but after starting to work on the project with mainstream automakers, first Volkswagen, then Daimler after Volkswagen killed the project after just 2 years, it launched with a small 3-cylinder engine. From that point on, the smart car gained a huge following in Europe thanks to its small design. In some markets, in fact, it was even allowed to park end-on in the street, something which made parking a breeze in busy, congested cities like London. Since those early smart car days, we've seen a range of different models come and go, as well as an eventual introduction of the Smart ForTwo ED, an all-electric version of the smart car which I, and many others in the auto industry, maintain drives far better than any internal combustion engine smart ever did. Slowly, as regulations have tightened on emissions and battery technology has improved, Smart's electric models have become more popular. And when Daimler worked with Renault on a new platform for the next generation smart car and Renault Twingo, it ensured the new model could run as both an electric and an internal combustion engine model on the production line. Just over 2 years ago, Daimler announced that it would stop selling the internal combustion engine smart car in North America, making the brand all-electric in that market. A year later, it announced that the brand would go all-electric by 2020, and all-electric smart cars were rebranded with Daimler's EQ electric car branding. At this point, everyone assumed the smart car brand would continue as an all-electric model, giving Daimler a more affordable entry into the electric car marketplace than its high-end and pretty expensive EQC crossover. But this week, German newspaper Handelsblatt reported that Daimler is considering what's next for the smart car. It reports that the brand, which has never really turned a profit, could get canned by the end of this year. The reason? Well, it appears that sales of the smart car have fallen quite precipitously over the last few years, and since it became an electric-only brand, has lost some of its original market share. The reason? Well, I'd suggest that's price. The all-electric Smart may be a fun runabout, but its price tag, while lower than other plug-in cars on the market, $23,900 for the base model EQ4 Pure Coupe before incentives and fees in the US, is still not exactly cheap, especially when you consider its official EPA-approved range is just 57 miles, and rapid charging isn't even available as an option. I also want to point out that, like other automakers, Daimler is finding it needs to tighten its metaphorical belt in order to bring electric cars to market, because cars that are electric tend to cost more to develop and make, at least for now. And while it does appear committed to making electric cars, it doesn't make sense for Daimler to continue producing a small, limited-range electric car if it could spend that money it currently loses on the Smart on its EQC, EQA, and other plug-in models. It seems, in essence, to be a similar logic to the decision that General Motors made when it decided to cancel the Volt in order to focus on the Bolt EV and other long-range all-electric models. That's a sad reality, and while I personally love electric smart cars, I can't really deny this logic. The other big factor reported here, Daimler's current CEO, Dieter Zeucher, who has been with the company since the 80s, is stepping down as CEO in order to retire. He's always seemed to have a soft spot for the smart car family, and in May, when he's replaced, it's thought the support for Smart brand will vanish with his departure. But will the brand vanish? That's less sure, as on Tuesday morning this week, both Reuters and the Financial Times reported that a 50% stake in Smart is being sold to Geely Automotive Holdings, the Chinese company that now owns the London taxi company, Lotus, Polestar, Proton, Volvo, Terrafugia, and a few others. Given that a large number of those companies have now started to focus on plug-in vehicles, it seems like a smart move, and no pun intended. Geely obtained a sizable stake in Daimler last year, and it seems that its shareholding in Smart could be the start of a brand transition, given that China is now at the very forefront of the switch to electric vehicles, and of course home to all of those notoriously bad smart car clones. It seems logical that a Chinese company would want to save the small city car from the chopping board. But right now, all we have to go on are rumours. Is the smart car doomed? Not yet. It's important to note that all of the rumours I've reported here are rumours right now. But when a company buys a stake in a brand, a 50% stake no less, it hasn't done that to kill the brand. And if the brand transitions away from Daimler, it could let an all-electric smart car continue to survive while Daimler focuses on what it does best: high-end luxury cars, hopefully with a plug. That's it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.